Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Coconut Wireless. It is Thursday, October 2nd, and it's a little late, 7:30, but that's. Aloha. My name is Mel Raposo, and I have the honor of serving as the chair of the Kauai County Council. This month, I stand alongside Brave Hawaii to remind our community that October is National Anti-Bullying Month. Bullying leaves deep scars, not just on those who experience it, but on families, friends, and our entire community. Every word we speak, every action we take has the power to either lift someone up or tear them down. So this October, and every day for that matter, let's make a commitment together to choose kindness, to show respect, and to recognize the value in every single person. When we lead with compassion, we create a safer, stronger, and more loving Hawaii for all. Let's be brave, and let's be the change. Mahalo. What's that, Charlie?
Hey, good evening. Good evening. Yeah.
That was a video I did today for a good friend of mine, Augie T. His daughter is the founder, and she runs that organization, Brave Hawaii, and they do a lot of stuff for kids, and uh, they're promoting anti-bullying month. So I did that for him. I figured I'd share that. So how you doing, my friend?
Well, long day. Long day.
I mean, when anti-bullying says let's be kind, and that's you, Charlie. You're such a kind man. You're like you look so scary sometimes and intimidating, but man, you're just a nice guy, and you're a kind
Well, I
man.
even scare. I even scare myself when I look in the mirror sometimes. It goes back to when I first started in the police department. I learned from early on that when you carry a frame and you don't mean to be intimidating, and you're gonna end up talking to people, you're gonna have to break that barrier. Yeah. And so one of those things were to how do you adjust your outer image to be more welcoming. So one of the things I learned, and I learned this from the missus, is when you're at a meeting, when you're sitting down, do not cross your arms because it looks like you're bored or you're ready to rumble. You don't want to do anything like that. But I think that message clearly states that yes, there's too many bullying going on in all facets of life today. It's bad enough we got so much negativity going on with our U.S. government that we don't need to have added pressures on top of that as well. So that was a very good message, brother. Very good
Thank you, man.
message.
Thank you. Yeah, I got to meet Mahia. She's an amazing lady. Nothing like her dad. Her dad is just he's a comedian. He's a funny guy, and he's also a county council member on Oahu, and he does a lot of good stuff in the community. So
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So I just thought I'd help him out. Hey, we have a couple of special guests tonight that we'll be bringing on in a little bit, but I wanted to just talk about we have this time, Charlie. Um, our fundraiser coming up on November 22nd. This is for my
Hmm.
campaign for mayor. It's going to be at the Kilohana Plantation in a big luau hut. Chili and rice and all kind poo-poos, and $10 suggested donation. We want to get everybody together in the community, and just have a good time. And we're hoping you all can come. You can the link on the screen, linktr.ee. I'll post it in the comments. Um, slash Mel for Kauai will take you to a little page that you can either buy tickets or make a donation to the campaign. And Charlie, I think you guys are playing, aren't you?
I think we are.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
definitely. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun. Our fundraiser is always good because you see so many people that you haven't seen in a while, and we get
Yeah.
to just talk story. It'll be fun. No long speeches. It'll be music, very short program, and more music, and
Hmm.
just a chance for us to break bread or break chili. We'll have mayonnaise.
Well,
We'll have mayonnaise. We will have mayonnaise.
one thing that I wanted to ask you tonight, and I never really got the chance to, sit down and talk to you about it, but was to find out from you with the rising costs in our standards of living, right? There are some that are not so fortunate. I mean, they're all around, for reasons and circumstances. But nonetheless, government needs to run, especially our local government, right? My question to you, Mel, is what is considered enough? I mean, it's always climbing, and there are some things that we can control. There are some things we can't control. What do you see in the future? I know you're, and we support you wholeheartedly. But I gotta ask this question: What is when will it be enough? I don't think it'll ever be enough. But what will it take to have an efficient government, and at the same token, um, think about the people, the taxpayers of that county having to foot the bill? Because we hear these horror stories where you got someone who's been out, hasn't been to work for 2 years, they've been on the sidelines getting paid. You hear all of these kind of things, and unless you're one who kind of tracks individuals in the county, I don't think anybody does that, but unless you're one of those, it's hard to say, right, where's money's coming from and whatnot. So what's your take on it, my brother? I know it's a loaded question, but
Before I answer that, I gotta answer this. What kind of mayonnaise? It'll be best foods. I cannot eat that other
yes.
stuff. I cannot eat that other stuff. We'll have
Hellman's,
we'll
Hellman's.
Hellman's is best foods. It's crazy.
No, it's not. It's not. You know how
Mila.
you can tell. You know how you can tell the difference between the two. Very
No.
simple. One is spelled with an H, the other with a B. That's how you know the difference.
Good evening, Susan. What's happening? What's happening? And Tyson, thank you for joining us. Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Yep.
Sam, is there a county housing? If there is county housing units built, should a community garden be a part so residents can grow food crops? Yeah, if they have enough land, and yes, I think that's just talking to uh, it's a church actually. I'm not gonna. That's all I can say. But they are looking at building about 160 units of affordable, and they are including a community garden in there. But back to your question, Charlie. The county, our only revenue really is real property taxes, and
Mm-hmm.
we do get TAT money from the state. We get GET money from the state. But those funds are pretty much directed to specific uses, and we don't control. There's so much that we don't control. We don't control the market. We don't control the real estate, and all we really can control is as far as cost is our real property taxes. So we try hard on the council to keep that as low as possible. We definitely got to keep the county running. Um, do I think that there's some areas where we can reduce spending? Absolutely. And I think that is kind of my vision for this county as a mayor would be to relook at of our cost and where in fact can we make some reductions without losing the quality of service. There's a lot of improvement that we can do, and it's going to be a challenge, Charlie. I got to tell you, man, it's not going to be an easy road. It's going to be very
Mm-hmm.
challenging, but I think with the right team, we'll be able to move this county in the right direction. But yeah, tough question. It's
Well, thank
challenging.
you.
Yeah.
Kind of made put, just made me realize, and thank you for that explanation, because I had no clue. Where does the monies come from? I mean, all businesses throughout our entire county are short of employment, right? But how much is needed for, say, a certain division? What is considered optimum? What is considered, enough to get by? And all those kind of things come into play that you have to figure out, because there's a dollar sign attached to it, right?
Yeah,
Um,
and
we've got.
government cost is higher than the private sector. It's just, and that's something that really has to be looked at when we put out contracts or requests for
Hmm.
bids. We really gotta be be aware and cognizant of what we're paying, and it's unfortunate, and it's just not here on Kauai or in Hawaii. It's across the country, and
Hmm.
costs keep going up. So, we got to take advantage of technology and becoming more efficient in what we do. And that is always going to be a challenge. But I believe that there is a lot of room for improvement. No disrespect to this administration or the prior administrations, but I think we really got to seriously take a look at the innovations. We go to conferences every year, and I talk to council members and commissioners, and some of them are called judges, some of them are called jurors. Every municipality is a different term for council members, but there's a lot of good things that other counties are doing as it relates to
Hmm.
efficiencies, and that's what I've been looking at is where can we become more efficient, improving our level of service, but not adding unnecessary costs. And easier said than done, no doubt about it. But I think that's the mindset that we have to have as we move forward. That's just simply the new way to do business, and we got to take advantage of that. And it doesn't mean we're gonna get rid of everybody, every employee, and no, we're not replacing nobody. But there are ways to create efficiencies that I have seen over the years that I've been on a county
Hmm.
council. I've had many suggestions. The reason I'm running for mayor is because many of my suggestions oftentimes get ignored by the administrations that I've served with. So I think it's just a new vision, a new direction that this county needs, and that's what I hope to bring. That's what I hope to
You
bring.
know, another thing I wanted to ask you, and I know I'm going to catch flack for this. If I've always viewed it, and maybe that's the me being too naive, but so what's new with Uncle Charlie? But when you have an employer that treats his employees well, the question always arises, should there be a union? And I've always felt that if we could have a union who stands by their word in helping the people and not take money from them to serve them. I mean, that's being really naive, but I wonder if that's even possible because you know to me unions feel it almost feel like it's a money making venture for them because whether you use their services or not, you're getting fees sucked into the union, right? Because they
Yeah,
say that it's for representation. Okay, once you get the contract done, what other representation is there? Unless the person really needs your services. You can get an employee who doesn't use their services for 3 years. Do they get any credits? No. They do structure just keep on going up and up and up. So
yeah. I definitely support the labor unions. I think the problem is that management is the real problem. I think the
mhm.
inconsistencies in how we treat our employees, and I'm not talking about Kauai. I'm talking about across the board. You know this very well, Charlie. We were in Shopo together, and you
Mhm.
see how different people get treated differently. And I think that's the value of being in the union, where you get that representation. I think where wanna I wanna change the culture to where everybody is treated fairly. Everybody is treated based on merit. Everybody is treated in a way that they should be treated.
Mhm.
If you can go through a year without any grievances, that doesn't mean anything other than your management and your leadership is doing their job, because this, and I think everybody watching knows that a lot of these grievances are frivolous, and it goes through the process. So my plan is to work with the unions and make sure that we get on real understanding of that agreement, the collective bargaining agreement, making sure that all supervisors are aware of the collective bargaining agreement for all the different unions, and making sure that they treat that collective bargaining agreement as they should. Because when we get into problems is when we fail to follow the contract. It is a contract. Whether you agree or disagree with it, that's irrelevant. That is what was agreed upon by the two sides. I challenge anyone. Call anyone at the council services that's working, any employee that's working at Office of Council Services right now, and ask them. When I became the chair, I made them a promise that I would make that workplace a place that they wanted to come to work. We have an awesome county clerk in Jade Tanigawa. She treats, it's I'm gonna tell you, it's a strict workplace. There's rules, there's sign out boards, it's, and but everybody gets treated the same. So we don't have that morale issues that you see in many other departments. And we have a
Hmm.
staff of about 30 people, so it's not like a public works, but nonetheless, we that was my focus, is trying to make sure we have a working environment that is healthy, and that they want to come to work every day. And we have had no grievances. We have, it's just, and it's like I said, it's not because of me. It's because of the department head, which is the county clerk and the deputy county clerk. But that was my directive, was this is what I want. I want everybody to be treated fairly. I want everybody to be treated equally. And I want this place to be a happy place for our employees. And it has worked. It has worked for us. And that's the kind of leadership I would bring to the administration. A good employer doesn't just hire for skills, they truly understand and champion the company culture. That means knowing what values actually drive the team and making sure every decision, from the break room snacks to the biggest projects, reflects on a shared identity. Culture isn't a poster on the, Anson, that, or Kate, I'm not sure which one you are, but isn't that like any kind of sports team? Isn't that like kind of the whole teamwork approach? And that is what I consider myself a coach. I consider myself a coach that can bring together people and together create this vision that the whole team can move towards. And I think once you accomplish that, then you got more than half the battle won. And that is the
Hmm.
approach I plan to take, is creating this whole team, a vision that everybody can buy into, that's not focusing on special interests. And if we all share the vision of making sure that our residents of Kauai are taken care of, then there will be no issues, right? It's when the special interests come in, and when you start trying to take care of a certain group of people versus another one, that's where you're going to run into issues. So I think the bottom line is, remember our core functions of government: public health and safety, and transportation, and housing, and our core functions is what we got to focus on. I almost made my slogan "Back to Basics," but I decided not to. We're going with knowledge, experience, and compassion, because I think that kind of depicts me, because I've been here so damn long. But I think it's creating a culture that people can buy into, and that they are willing to work towards, and that'll work. And that's just what I will bring. And I think that's something that differentiates me from anybody else that might be considering running, or my opponent right now. I think it's just, we need to make a new direction. We need to create a new path, and that's kind of what I bring. So anyway, yes, Mila, more productive is absolutely correct. I think we got to really focus on the mission and focus on the goals, and give the departments and the employees the tools and resources they need to get the job done,
Hmm.
and remind everybody that we are a public service agency. We serve the community, and I think many times people feel that's not the case, and in some cases they are correct. So, but anyway.
Well, we've tossed this issue around and we toiled with it, trying to find out. Again, the question is affordable housing, right? And I think someone has to step up to the plate. That's how usually it starts, right? You have someone who's willing to do it, who's willing to put together affordable housing, and to keep it affordable. I think one is racing against time on getting the materials, getting the permits, getting the plans underway to start building, so you can put um, individuals in those homes that truly need a home, especially your workforce housing, right? You got people working, whether it be county, private sector, and there's just not enough inventory for, and so a lot of them say, you know what, it's just too expensive, we're moving away, and it defeats the purpose. But Do you think, some of the process when it's delayed drives the cost up for someone to build affordable housing? I mean, there's got to be this factor involved that says, okay, for us to make it affordable, this is a timeline we have to do it by. If it goes beyond this timeline, then it goes up by so many thousands of dollars until such time that as long as there's a delay on, say, permitting, right? Once we get past this timeline, bingo, because there's funding being used by who's ever putting up these housing, and they've got to pay for the cost of that money that they borrowed for that whole mechanism to go forward, right?
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, how can we expedite this and yet keep a safe measurement so it's done right, but so as not to cause any problems in the monies that, because the end product is the person who buys the house. The one who takes the hit is the person who develops the build, right? On the front end. How long can that person hold out before his money that he's using or borrows um, is not worth the paper that you sign your signature on the dotted line? It starts making the cost get out of reach. What's your take on that?
Well, I think you nailed it. I think you nailed it. And one of the things, one of the things is what is that noise? Oh, is that anyway?
Oh no,
One
no,
of
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
But you know what? I want to bring an expert on. Can we bring an expert on, Charlie? Oh, where did he go? Where did he go? Can I bring can I bring an expert on? Let me bring on an expert right here. Boom. Augie T!
Hey,
He's
going on?
one of the two special guests. I don't know what happened to our other special guest, but anyway, what's up, Augie?
How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well.
Uncle Charlie, it's been a while.
Uncle Charlie, can you hear us? He does this all the time, bro. He gonna fake like he's muted. Oh, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Hi, you, my friend. You heard him talk about the. Okay, okay, now, okay, here we go. Anyway, Augie,
Yes.
we were talking about you earlier. I didn't tell him you were coming on, but we were just talking about. Hang on, let me bring Uncle Charlie back on here because
Okay. There
there
he
he
is.
is. So
Been a
we were
while, Uncle
talking.
Charlie.
I played the little video that I made that you requested, and first of all, let me just say your daughter is a gem. Mahia
Thank you.
is just done so much for our community, and I think if you saw my post, we had one person that actually posted that she changed her daughter's life. I mean, and she has done that for so many. But I want to give you an opportunity to share a little bit about Brave Hawaii, which is your daughter's organization,
Mhm.
and this anti-bullying month that we are standing alongside your daughter with. And uh, yeah, let's try that. Let's try that.
Perfect. No, thank you. She created the foundation when she was in elementary school. She was 11 years old. Now she's 25 years old, and she's been advocating, through pageantry, going into schools, and you know, last year, her and I did a campaign on domestic violence because it's also Domestic Violence Month too, and just the we want to encourage parents to sit down, talk to your children, find out what's going on, and and be a family that you know exactly what's happening in your children's life, and making a more an assertive effort to, like, listen, because it's hard. We all work in 2 3 jobs, and sometimes our family get neglected, and so it was super encouraging last year doing that, father daughter commercial. And this year, we're really pushing hard on the anti-bullying. That's why we have people like yourself. We have Mayor Kyle Kami's going to do it. We have Mayor Bisson already did. The mayor of Oahu and the governor will be doing this as well. Other celebrities, just reminding people that the need to be respectful and value everyone is needed more than any. any, not more than ever, with a lot of the challenges that we see. So, it's been a blessing to watch her grow and watch her continue to do good things. We have a free community event in November called the West Side Roundup. We're gonna do mechanical bull riding for kids, but most importantly, it's a way for bring the community together. It's a free event. There's gonna be country music, line dancing, and vendors giving information on things they can do to help improve our community. But like maybe they need services, so it's a pretty it's as as a parent, and this, Mel. It's always rewarding when you see your children do good things and want to make a difference in a community.
We have another celebrity that just popped in, um, and let me bring her on right now. This is Kiani Garcia. She is Miss Kauai Filipina.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Well, you never say I would have wear my barong
I was
Tagalog.
I was
I
waiting
would
for
have
him
like
first. I mean, nah, this was last minute. This is last minute.
Yeah,
yeah,
this
yeah,
is. I was just telling.
Filipino.
I was just
Go
telling
ahead.
Charlie that we had requested the both of you, all for a long time, and then the two of you agreed to come on the same night. So I said, "Oh, what the heck? We can accommodate both of you." And Miss Koi Filipina here, Kiani, she spoke at our county council meeting when we recognized her for what she was her accomplishment as Miss Koi Filipina. And I've known Kiani. I've seen her out in the community, and she's like just a normal young lady that is having fun. And then she spoke at our county council meeting, and like kind of like Mahia, blew me away. And I did want to share a little bit, or have Kiani share about her experience. And I think she's familiar with Brave Hawaii, and she is in. And maybe her and Mahia can get together at some point, and Mahia can give her some pointers because she wants to start a nonprofit. Um,
Awesome.
so Augie, I'm gonna let hang on here. I gotta figure this out. But Kiani, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a
Yes.
little bit
Hi.
about who you are.
Yes, I am Kiani Garcia. I just turned 20 years old and I am the current Miss Hawaii Filipina. I was Miss Hawaii Filipina back in June, and then we had our state pageant here in August where I was crowned the representative for our state. So it's really exciting to get to immerse myself into the different communities around Hawaii and also to bring Kauai to the state stage because I think that's what made my experience so special in terms of just our community just being in Ohana. And I really liked what you said about your daughter. I didn't know that she started her platform when she was 11, which is really, really cool. I was motivated to start my nonprofit organization. It's based around youth mental health. I was motivated to start it, I think, right after high school. Um, and it kind of intertwines with my personal journey in pageantry also where in pageantry before that actually I didn't really have an identity for myself. I didn't know who I truly was as a person, and in preparation for the Miss Kauai Filipina pageant I really had to not only dig deep into my cultural roots but into who I was as a person and as a young adult in today's world and community.
Yeah, no, pageantry does a lot to like building self-esteem and really getting creative to seeing or follow, finding out what the needs of the community are. And she did it when she was 11. She wrote a book, and that's kind of like that's how it basically started, reading the books to little kids, writing her book, and then it just expanded. But yeah, no, it's awesome. That's what it does, man. It helps a lot of young women, gain the
Yes.
confidence they need and the self esteem and the fact that to get on stage and to speak and does amazing things as far as building confidence. So right on, congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much. I know it's really. I think you guys mentioned this a couple minutes before I hopped on, but it's really really rewarding to see the youth kind of step to the plate when they notice something. It's nice for them to take action and to be a voice for the younger generations, because a lot of my youth mental health platform also deals with the way that they cope, and a lot that I have seen so far, a lot of students have coped to using e-cigarettes, and things just to take their mind, unhealthy ways to take their minds off of things. And I want to bring attention towards that because I have a lot of younger siblings and a lot of or younger cousins in my family, and I don't know when the gap is gonna end. Because before, when I was in middle school, the gap ranged maybe from 16-year-olds and 12-year-olds, but as time went on, the gap reached towards 10-year-olds. I don't know when it's going to get to my 4-year-old cousin who doesn't even know anything about these e cigarettes or these ways to cope. So it's producing healthier ways to cope for these children in order for them to thrive.
So Augie, I don't know if you can turn your phone the long way.
It's a long
'Cause,
way.
yeah,
I can do that.
your head.
How's
You gonna
that?
be
Is
oh
that
okay.
Yeah,
better?
I was gonna
yeah,
say
we go.
anything.
Yeah,
Hold on,
because
hold on, hold on.
like
That's there
you
you go.
got
How's that?
yeah, way better, man. You get your head was
Yeah.
just occupying the entire screen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no, now no.
how's
There we
that?
go.
I get this. I get it's on this stand, and I should actually so things like like that. But anyway, okay. How's that?
That's awesome.
Okay,
Okay,
good.
you see any similarities with Kiani and your daughter in their motivation? And we really wanted to chat a little bit about the anti-bullying month campaign
Hmm.
because it is such a big problem now. I was bullied when I was young. I was, and I share my
Yeah.
story often. You look at Augie. He was a what do you call kind of boxer? What do you call that? What kind of boxer he was? What that?
Golden Glove.
Golden
I was
gloves.
in the
Golden gloves.
PL. Yeah, and
Yeah.
part of the reason was that my dad knew that we were gonna get bullied. So, you know, then my mom, my mom was, this howly Portuguese lady, and in public housing, and my dad was just this, Filipino man who knew, like, so he just, made sure that we all know how to like defend ourselves, and that not knowing that probably the best thing they ever did, because it built confidence in me, understood what hard work is all about. So what a blessing in disguise. You can use, a lot of kids come in thinking, they're going into, to beat up the world. And a lot of my friends did that, and they realized it's not an easy sport to take up. It takes a lot of discipline, takes a lot of hard work. So very, very thankful that my dad, yeah, maybe the motivation in the beginning was wrong, but I think at the end of the day, it really helped me and my brothers grow and understand that when you dedicate yourself to something, man, not only you stay out of trouble, but it helps you be disciplined. Dude, my cat is like really trying to. I have a Maine Coon. You guys know what a Maine Coon is? It's like my
I,
cat. See how, dude, this guy is like big as a rice, like a rice bag. Yeah,
bro, he's bigger.
dude. I promise.
He's
So like,
bigger than you. He's
yeah, no,
bigger
this
than
guy like
you.
Okay,
he wants
okay,
to. Every time I bring
that
on my
is a
stool, he like
mountain
jump
lion.
on. Yeah,
That's a
I,
yeah,
mountain lion you get over.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I heard that thing. I thought it was Charlie's stomach growling, but it was that. Was it that cat? Was it that cat?
That's my main cool. He doesn't
Hey,
purr, but he like talks.
hey,
Yeah.
I got a question. I got a question for our two guests, Mel. With this anti-bullying, and I'm 100% behind it. But what countermeasures are there right now in place? Because we are living in real time on how our government on a national platform is conducting bullying in a on a governmental level, and we have our kids watching that, and we're trying to teach them the right way about not being bullying, and yet we have elected officials displaying openly bullying.
Yeah.
What countermeasures are you folks planning to counter that? Because I think as long as they have access to media, they're going to see it. And it appears unless something is done, every everyone can perceive it to be, well, if it's okay for them, must be okay for us, and that's not the right message to be getting.
I like Kiani. You wanna try to answer that one? This is like your final question on the stage. I know because I'll be happy to answer that, but like I feel like once I get going, like Mel, hard for stop, and then
Oh yeah.
I like try tackle that affordable housing thing because we have some challenges here on Oahu, and you touch on some really good points, and yeah. So anyway, go ahead, Kian. I'll let you tackle that one.
Yes. Is this pertaining to how bullying is advertised on media or like addressed?
Yeah, yeah.
How do
So
you, because
yeah,
we're trying to push this anti-bullying campaign, and you cannot turn on you cannot turn on the TV and watch the news today, and not see a bunch of adults acting like children on both sides of the aisle, throwing rocks at each other, spitting at each other, calling each other names. So how Charlie's asking, how do we as adults, and you are now a young adult, what do you tell your kids? If I had young kids now, I would not let them watch TV. But I mean, because Charlie brings up a really good point that we are here telling everyone, hey, support us in the anti-bullying movement. But when you
Mhm.
turn on the TV, our leaders,
Yes.
again, on both sides, acting like kids, bullying each other. So that's like a pageant question. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a very technical question, I would say. Um, but to keep it simple, I think that the true connection to the youth is to utilize individuals who experience both the adult world and the youth world. So, like for me, I am going into secondary education, so a lot of my platform is catered to the youth, but I'm also here using my platform to connect with older adult platforms to kind of get an idea of what needs to be addressed in the future while also connecting with the youth. So, using my platform as a young adult, I like to just talk story with the younger ones, and I like to really build an understanding of what they truly need from the older generations. Because yes, we all have our own conflicts as adults. That is never going to stop. We're all human. Um, and there's never always a right or wrong to tell our kids because they may not see it as right or wrong, but we can be there for them. We can cater to what they feel needs to be addressed and what they need help with.
That's a great answer, and I think it's like when you coach football, baseball, basketball, and the other team is might be holding a little bit too much, or might be grabbing your face mask too much, and your players are saying, "Coach, they're breaking the rules." You can either tell them, "Well, punch them or hit them," or you can say, "You let them play the game, let the referees do their job. You focus on doing what's right." And doing your job the way you're supposed to do. And I think that's kind of how you got to approach this thing with the kids. The kids today are much more exposed than when I grew up. I mean, we didn't have all this silly stuff, but yeah, it's kind of a tough situation to be in when kids are looking up at leaders, and the leaders are uh, showing some bad behavior. What do you think, Mr. T?
Well, I think it all starts at home. That's like for me. Bullying has been around since you know from the very beginning of time. I look at it as you know there's a lot you can learn from it, and a lot that can damage you emotionally, and sometimes physically. But at the end of the day, you know um for me, it's like parents. It starts with us first, and understanding that there are people that respond differently, and we have to do our best. Like I always, you know, from the time the kids are little, let them understand that this is not um, a happy road at times, and that not everybody gonna agree with you, and you have to somehow learn to respect that. And the way you do that is not responding the same way as they respond. We are better people than that, and it takes a lot of examples. You can't. You're right. You cannot. And it's a lot harder now because kids are exposed to so many things, right? I mean, if you think about all the little challenges that we have now, guys, you know, uh, there's so much lawlessness right now, um, that we almost numb to it. We see somebody stealing in the store, we almost allow it to happen, right? Homelessness, we know more solutions. People just get numb and negative, or numb and don't think things will ever change. And I think with bullying, because now you have social media, you have all these things that you're seeing, and you're like, so you're overloaded with so much information and so much things happening that it's hard to not um, see it. So I think we need to do a better job at home. But again, we live in a state that requires mom and dad to work two jobs. A lot of us grew up when we came home and there were a parent in the house that understood that what you were going through, and you could express how you were feeling. Man, it's tough now. It's tough when mom and dad working, and you see it, played out, nationally. You see it played out in schools, and you get teachers who are afraid to speak up because the parents like retaliate, which is sad if you think about it. I remember one time I went to school late, and I was like 10 minutes late, and I knew like at 6:10 during dinner time. Remember when the phone used to be on the wall? Never have a cell phone, and you knew, like, because you're late, the teacher was gonna call, and not to get you in trouble, but to really help you become a better person. But when I go into schools, and when my daughter go into schools, and we speak and we talk to the teachers after, teachers are so afraid to respond or say anything because the parents are bullying them. And so we all got to do a better job. It's going to take, again, I it's going to take a lot of people, just all us leading by example. We're not perfect, but if we can remind people that, man, we live in Hawaii, and if it's any place that should be leading by example in this word aloha, it's us. It's us. And it's so easy to you know to jump off the handle and push your weight because you want to get your point across. But we all know when to use that, and we all know we can do a better job at, like, holding back, being better listeners, trying to stay humble. And it's tough in this day and age when there's so much people that just either want the likes, need the follow, right? Need to get their point across. It's it's insane. But I'm very optimistic and hopeful that one day we'll have you know there's some civility, and understand that, man, you're not only hurting yourself, but you're hurting a lot of people by your bad example.
Hey, Kiani, you're the youngest one here. I mean, you're like, I forget already. I mean, but I don't forget all the situations where I was bullied. I don't. And I remember when you came to the county council meeting, you shared some. You had me in tears. I think everybody saw that. Um, but I'm curious. What advice could you give us and parents? Because again, don't go make me cry again. But I mean, what advice? What are kids looking for today? What are they yearning for today? I think Augie hit it on the nail on the head. It starts in the home. We cannot legislate behavior. So what are the young people of today? What are they yearning for that they might not be getting by their parents and grandparents?
They just want to be
Before,
heard, really. I think that they just want to talk, but because parents, they have that feel or need to give direction to their kids, and sometimes it's not what the kids want to hear. So for me, this is relating to my pageant journey, but I was told a lot of times that I shouldn't do the pageant, because it's all politics, it's all about money, and that I simply just don't fit the example to be a queen or a representative of my island or Hawaii. And it took me just one person to tell me that, okay, go ahead, do it. You want to do it? We can do it. Let's do it. And I think that's what our keiki needs. They just need someone that can listen to them, hear them out. They need, hey, mom, dad, I want to do this. All I need is your support. Just hear me out, hear my plan, and I believe we can do it. And all they need is for their parents to say, I believe in you, let's do it.
That is why I think Mahia and Kiani need to get together and talk story and share, because that really is what it boils down to, right? Is number one, love, right? We gotta love our kids, and
Well, you guys, Mel, Uncle Charlie, you guys know I have two openly gay sons, right? You guys, when they were growing up, one of the hardest things for me as a dad, who, again, all my life, boxing. My dad was this alpha male that, if I picked up something like this, my dad would be, hey, what is this? What is this? What is this? You pick him up like a man. So this was like embedded in my brain, that, and what people don't realize, 20 something years ago when I started talking about my children, you know, being gay, what people never understand was that I was working through a lot inside too. Like, man, I was working through the shame. I was working through like, is it my fault? I was working through a lot, and the biggest concern for me as a parent was like, I was afraid that they were gonna get just a hard time in this society, and there are like a lot of heart to heart talk about like this not gonna be easy, and you gotta understand, and you gotta know that a lot of people are not gonna accept your lifestyle, and you gotta respect that, and we gotta have that kind of conversations with our kids, and I'm proud of all of them. I have five. I have a blended family. I have five, and I'm proud of all of them because of uncomfortable talks at times, but truthful talk. And sometimes being truthful is not easy. And that in politics, you have to somehow, find a balance, and sometimes it's hard, and you have to stay firm and not compromise, because I don't know about you, but whenever I say or vote one way and I know that's not the right vote, I get this sciatic pain that goes down the back by my okole, and I go, ooh, that's God just kicking me in okole, like hugs. I don't think you made the right decision on that one. So, having those, truthful, heartful talks, is so important. And you're right, we cannot legislate. You know, we all live in different homes, and we got to try our best to, again, have those meaningful talks with our children, and let them know, like, you have a responsibility too. When you see some kid getting picked on, it's so easy. It's so strange, because when I go to schools and I ask kids, how many of you guys would defend a kid if you saw them bully? All the class, they raise their hand. They all raise their hand. But the real answer to that is, I tell all the kids to sit down and only the front row stand up. The reality, we all say, yeah, we would help and defend, but the reality is that we don't.
yeah,
We don't. And we got to do a better job at just, having that kind of conversations with our children, and letting them be firm with their thoughts, and it's okay. They got to know, like, you're not right. What you see and read on social media are not always correct. You can always have that conversation with me. You can always have, that openness, and it's okay to be wrong. It's okay.
that's right. I gotta apologize because I introduced Kiani as Miss Kauai Filipina, but she is Miss Hawaii Filipina. She's she's the big one, boy. She
Hey,
beat
dude,
all the Filipinos across the state, all of them.
I cannot wait till there's a Filipino Portuguese Hawaii. That'll be amazing.
We can make it happen. We can make it happen.
So, Kiani, you talked about um, your goal, your dream, your vision to have this nonprofit that's going to provide these support services for the young ones. And if you had to pick the three top, and I sorry because we never rehearsed this, so we're putting you on
Oh.
the spot here, but that's what pageant queens do.
Yes.
If you had to pick your three top priorities or the three areas, the top areas that young women today in high school or middle school, the top three areas that you would like to focus on, where would that be?
Um, for women specifically, I think it's helping them find their identity, um, being a voice for them, and I talked to certain organizations in building this platform, and one of them has also been uh, HIV and STD awareness. And I feel like it's not being promoted enough in schools, because I've heard recently that a lot of the students go to them and they question what is STDs, what is HIVs. And when I was younger, when I was in sixth grade, that was a mandatory class for me, and I had to take that. And I think it's just a super important lesson to go through, because not a lot of families talk about it because they themselves aren't educated for it. So as an educational system, I think we should implement that more into our students, because it's not only about English, math, social studies, science. We are preparing them for the life that they have before them or ahead of them. And if we can prepare them head on, then they can pass that knowledge down to their kids and generations after that. And being a voice for them, again, it comes down to being an ear for them, listening to our keiki so that they are able to be heard and be motivated to make their dreams come true.
Yeah, Charlie, this last weekend we were at the West Kauai Health Fair put on by HHSC, and one of the resource tables there was Malama Pono. So
Yes.
I stopped by to go talk to the lady, and I was shocked when she told me that the number of STDs on Kauai is rising. I mean, we can do a whole show on that, and maybe we should. Maybe we should bring Malama Pono on to do a full show because we just don't have the time tonight. But I was shocked, and then I guess after talking to her for a little while, I guess I shouldn't be surprised because of promiscuity now with the young ones. But that is, I think, Kiana, I think you bring up a really important point that is an issue that our kids need to be educated on. Um, and again, Augie says, we got to talk to our kids and be open and honest, but a lot of parents have a difficult time talking to their kids about sex, about being safe, about STDs. Charlie, when you grew up, had STDs back then when you was growing
Hmm.
up? Had no? I'm not
Yep.
going to ask you. I'm not going to ask you what I want to ask you, but that's okay. I just
No, as a disclaimer, I heard you saying that we're the oldest and Connie is the youngest. And, as a disclaimer, and everybody knows, I graduated from Kamehameha in 2020. So I'm not that old. But I wanted to touch on something that August said, and that is I too have two granddaughters that are alternative. And my whole goal is, and when this whole thing came up on a national platform, what is acceptable, not acceptable. My wife will tell you that I had so many swear words going on in the house because I said, having experience working at the medical examiner's office, I saw too many young kids take their own lives. And I said, I will not let my granddaughters go through that. I'm going to support them no matter what. We as adults, we turn our backs on our kids. They got nothing. And the only way out is they're going to take their life. And to me, that is unacceptable. And so that's why I, I, I follow what Augie said, and I too will stand and I'll afford every single opportunity to my granddaughters. You know, I mean, they introduce me to their significant others, and I accept them freely as the part of the family. You know, we don't have to do any kind of separation. But and this is something that and this is not, I'm not using this as an attention getter, but I get really upset with some close friends who was kind of talking about sports and the transgender issue, and okay, I get it, but nonetheless, that person took the leap of faith of what they wanted. Now, regardless if you're gonna let them play sports or not, you still cannot degrade them as a human being. I don't care what you say, and that's why I'm at odds, and I just try to hold myself back from letting, we're talking about anti-bullying, right? And I feel like I
Hmm.
become one bully when I want to come out and lash out, but you cannot.
Well,
You gotta.
it's a that's an interesting thing because Uncle Charlie, my children, they don't see, even despite being very openly gay, they're very conservative in their thinking. And again, I think it's just, you know, it's at different levels. Like they don't really, um, they don't believe, they believe in traditional marriage. Believe it or not, it's kind of a hard. There's a lot of gays that are conservative, and I think when you make it an issue, it becomes an issue. You know what I mean? Like to me,
Mhm.
what you do in your private life. You know, for me, dude, go do them. You know what I mean? But like, you know, that those boys is still the kid that I looked at when they came out, when they were babies. That I had all the dreams and aspiration, and no matter how old they get, they still that. But the cool thing is that, yeah, maybe I'm a different kind of dad. Um, and I think from a very young age, I let them know this is going to be a difficult lifestyle. You gotta accept the fact that not everybody gonna be in agreement. And it's not, that's a very tough conversation to have because we have to be respectful kind of to the to people who don't feel and see that way, and it's okay. I think I think that's the sad part of society, that we cannot sit down and have this kind of conversation without like, what, no, it's only gotta be this way, like, I just feel like that's where we've lost touch. That we cannot agree to disagree, which is really sad. you know uh I remember I should have got canceled on radio so many times. um you know uh I should
Yeah,
have
all
got
you just
canceled.
gotta watch Augie's videos. You got just go
Yeah.
watch. He Augie
uh,
Augie
yeah,
Augie did a,
you guys know
a
when I first got elected, they went after me for doing blackface, and you know I grew up in a time where, like, if it's not malicious and you're being funny, you're being funny. You know what I mean? There's a huge difference in your tone and the way you do things, the way if you're being truthful and honest, that's I tend to believe, and I think everybody, well, when you hear somebody talk, you can almost smell the BS. It's like you're like, I think I'm gonna leave, right? And my dad, even though he only went up to the fourth grade, he always told me, like, if you're telling the truth and people get hurt, too bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason why I love comedy so much, because you have a choice whether or not to come watch the show. You have a choice to turn the station. You have a choice to walk away. And yet, we feel like, man, I just need to express myself and tell you how I feel. Cool. You know what I mean? But like, if I never do it maliciously, and I think this is where people not, I don't think they can understand that. Hey, it's just we're, and we've seen it play out nationally. Where somebody's expressing themselves, as hate, and we've seen, and we need to do, bro. Just like what we saying, get off.
Turn the station, scroll on
Yeah,
by. You know, it
you
just goes
know.
back to the fact that, and I only going to speak for Hawaii because that's all I care about really as far as how we treat people is, remember, we still talk about the aloha spirit, but where is it? Where is the aloha spirit that we were raised on? Now, Kiani, you much younger, so I don't know if, when you entered this world, maybe the aloha spirit had already diminished to a level compared to when I mean, there was a genuine sense of taking care of each other when I grew up, and I feel almost bad because my kids never really got to experience that, even though we raised them that way. But
Mhm.
when they go into the real world, like you said, Augie, how the heck can we not agree to disagree? It's just gone to hell, and like you said, right? I mean, Augie, some of your skits. I mean, you did a prank. You did a video that you and your mom.
Mhm.
You made your mom pretend that she was blind,
Yeah.
and that was one of the funniest things I have ever seen. Now, I can in today's world, I can see someone going after you for abusing your mom like that. I can see someone, which would never happen. I mean, we grew up. I was a Portuguese, 100% pure.
Mhm.
We were the brunt of every joke every day of our lives, and we
True.
laughed with them because it was funny. But today, you cannot do that. If I had said a Filipino joke or a Filipino Wahini joke, Kiani, uh, it's just not the same. And I'm just curious, why
You know
is it
what's
that way?
funny? It's so Filipinos. I feel like the reason why Filipinos can connect so well with the community here in Hawaii is because we kind of have the same values. I actually have a favorite Hawaiian proverb. It's hiva'a himoku, himoku hiva'a, meaning the canoe is the land and the land is a canoe. So meaning that the community on that they had on the canoes are the same that they carry on land. And it's kind of the same in the Filipino culture. So we were voyagers too back then, way back then. And we had this community on our canoes called balangays, and then now they call their communities in the Philippines barangays. So they still carry that aloha or that sense of bayanihan, that oneness wherever they go. And I think that's why like we don't take heart humor so much because we take it as if we are family. We don't get so touchy on certain subjects and make it political.
Probably the best thing that was said all night.
I'm offended by everything.
That's okay, you can joke about it. You can just laugh it off.
Uh, I know we're at 8:32 right now. If you guys don't mind, we go for a little bit longer, only because I'm having a good time, and I know you guys
Then
are all
I'm
busy
good.
people. But
Yeah.
no, but
I
but
know it's 9 o'clock. Kawhi's sleeping already, right?
everybody's scared. Come on, watch them live. When we were doing the show during the pandemic,
Hmm.
man, we had like 1,000 people live, and then this thing would just go crazy, and then now we're not because we're talking about fun things. They scared Charlie go make fun of them live on the air, so they don't watch them
My,
live. They'll come on tonight. You can see this thing at 800, 900,000 views because they scared come on live because we can see whoever pops on. But it's just a strange phenomenon. But I just wanted to say, Augie is coming down this weekend to Kauai, and
next week.
I mean next week. Yeah, next week.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, next week. Oh my God.
Come
No,
on,
it's
man.
this week, bro.
No, this weekend is the fourth. Next
Yeah,
weekend.
it's this week. Did I give you the wrong date?
You probably did.
Just kidding, man. Just kidding.
No
Next
me
week.
aclarar you. Next week. Oh my God. I was like,
But I don't know if Augie knows this, but we're gonna be sharing. We're gonna be spending the night together on next week Saturday night. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, my stomach gonna be sore.
no, and that's
I,
the reason why we talking about, you know, gay. Never mind. I pass.
Yes. No. I told my
Okay,
wife.
gang.
I told my
Okay,
wife.
okay, gang. Let's focus now. Focus.
I told.
Okay. We gotta
I
start focusing.
I know.
I told my
You're
wife.
catching me off guard. I'm getting all excited. I'm like, "Ooh, man, what kind of night
I
outfit
told my
should I
wife.
be using?" You know.
I told my wife, "Hey, we gotta share the cottage with Augie T." What? What? Yeah,
Uh,
gonna be a good fun. Augie's coming down. He's gonna be emceeing my niece's wedding next week Saturday, and I'm gonna be performing the wedding because I
nice.
yeah. Oh, I never tell you that, Augie.
No, no, I'm looking
Damn,
forward to that.
I'm not because I only did one before and I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous,
I
but
mean, Mel, is it legal? I mean,
no,
the
they,
the
bruh.
thing will be okay.
Hey, listen, I had ChatGPT make my license, my marriage officiant license, but they don't. My niece don't know. She don't know. She
Oh,
thinks she's gonna
you
be
do? You
married.
performing? You doing the whole?
No, I'm not doing that. No, no,
Oh,
no, no. We just, yeah, we just gonna be there for support, just for support.
oh, okay.
I scared because so in my life I've been the best man, I believe 6 times, and they all divorced.
Mm.
Oh, I'm not
At least you
joking.
had friends,
I'm not
dude.
joking.
At least you had friends. I've never been asked.
Yeah, well, I
I've
haven't
never
been
been asked.
asked. After the
Yeah,
sixth divorce, I have not been asked ever since. Yeah, it's done.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, gonna be fun. Gonna be fun.
I'm looking forward.
And then Augie will be at New Hope Church on Sunday morning, delivering the message. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Augie does a morning scripture. He does a morning. What do you call
Yeah,
it?
my Bible study.
Bible
I went
study.
to. Yeah, I went to. I went to Awakening last year, where you know, I'll talk a little bit more about it in on the Sunday sermon about just in this 57 years on the planet. I feel like God has always been there for me, to ups and downs, the victories, the lows, and He never went away, never went away. And it took a tragic thing in my family for me to realize that I need to do more than just what I'm doing now. And so, yeah, I'm having the time of my life. I have 798 days left in my political career, which I've um, feel so blessed. This last, can you believe it? The last time we talked was almost 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
When I leave
Mm-hmm.
office, I would been in office for 8 years, Mel Raposo. Eight
Yeah, I
years.
mean, the only reason we never talked for 5 years is because you never return my damn calls.
Wow, I'm too busy watching wrestling.
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
guys see the Did you guys see the video me and Mel made when we did this? I don't know if you guys follow WWE. Me and Mel, we did this whole thing where we did this, like the most stupidest thing, but like if you're a fan of wrestling, oh man, just beautiful
Yeah,
stuff.
so Pastor Matt Higa from New Hope, I ran into him and he said, "Do you know that Augie T does a Bible study on Instagram?" I said, "I follow him on Instagram. I've not seen that."
Yeah.
And it's kind of impressive, though. It's kind of impressive. Um,
Just every day accountability. It really helped me focus. Sometimes being in office, and this, Mel, it's very challenging. Uh, I needed to find a source of balance, and wake up every morning. I still do morning radio, uh, and then I go to council, and then on the weekends, I still love making people laugh. I feel like it helps my mental health, and that nothing should change. You should be exactly who you are, and it just helps me a lot to make this balance. Because try sitting in city council for 6 hours sometimes.
no, I know, man. It sucks. It sucks. Kiani, what do just like today when I was talking to Kiani at her shop and like, hey, what's your schedule? I'm not gonna be here. I gotta go Honolulu. Oh, hey, I'm not gonna be here. I gotta go here. Oh my God, she's like, she's Miss Hawaii Filipina. Gotta go all
Yeah,
over the
I'm
place,
all
right?
over the place
So,
now.
so what do you do for balance? What is your therapy? What is your out? Um, what do you do to find that balance? Augie was just talking about.
Sometimes it's just stepping away. And it's also like for me, sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially when all eyes are on you at one time. Everyone's expecting you to be here, everyone's expecting you to be there. Sometimes I just need to step away. I take care of my mental health usually by going walking, just going to the beach, doing stuff I would usually do if I didn't have the title or the crown. And sometimes I look back on it and sometimes I do miss it, but I have to realize also that I did this for a purpose and there's a reason why God put me in this place, but also I am who I am before I even had the crown also. And it's just reconnecting with family. Like if I have to go away, like to another island to go reconnect with friends or family, then I'll do that also. But yes, it can be very overwhelming. I think
Well, I
recently I also I had the Miss Kauai Filipina coronation and the Kauai Filipino Community Council installation ceremony. The morning right after that, I flew over to Oahu for an event. And it can be very, very tiring. I think that night I had like 3 hours of sleep. And then I flew back to Kauai the same day. So having these responsibilities, it can be draining, but again, I have to realize that I have a purpose and there's a reason why I was here also.
I know. I saw you at your shop, and of course, Zen Creations
First shop.
Kauai says my shop. So that is
In
Shailani
all caps.
Weaver. Shailani Weaver is the owner of the
She's
shop.
serious.
I misspoke, but Miss Hawaii Filipina works there, and they have some beautiful. I saw a Aloha shirt, but they didn't have it in my size, but it is probably one of the nicest shirts I've seen, black and
Yeah,
gold with
it's
some
a island favorite. A lot, it sold
man.
out so quickly. Yeah, we'll have more coming out for the holidays. So we'll be at Malimakeke here on Kauai from I think Black Friday and Thanksgiving weekend, all the way to the end of December.
You see, look, Charlie, what did you, Charlie? Show me your shirt, Charlie. Look at that. That
What?
it says the coconut wireless.
Are
It's
those
ours.
new? No? Did you guys always have that?
Yeah, we
What did you
always
get?
had it. We
You
always
guys
had it.
getting
What?
merch?
Yeah, we
You
get.
guys getting merch?
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like,
Crazy,
where can I get one?
dude. In the 30 years I've done business, I've not created merch. Look at you guys.
Yeah,
Drum,
we
drum in with your candles.
Oh yeah, my candles. Oh gosh. Augie, I have an online store. It's
Look
called the
at you.
Cozy Wickery, and I sell candles.
So
Isn't
you
that
like
so
what
fitting for him?
different like scent? Cause
All different scents.
yeah,
All
it's
different
like
scents.
scent that you created, or because I was thinking about doing that. I was thinking about doing the wine ice sewer plant. You know, I was gonna do Grandpa's flannel. Where you smell pomade and mothballs mixed together. And you light that bug up, and you're just thinking about your grandpa and his palm olive. Remember
Oh,
when, remember when we used to go buy cigarettes for your grandparents? They used to write one note.
Camels.
Dear store, please allow Augie to buy cigarette for his grandpa. Love, Sharon.
Yeah.
That'd be
hold
amazing.
on. Here, I don't ever put me on the screen alone, but I'm gonna show you. This is what it looks like. This is a Virgo. It's my Virgo sign, and this one here is. Oh, this is the one. This is the pomade. No, this is white sage and lavender, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, Cozy Wickery. Huh? Oh, did I lose all you guys?
On the
Huh?
No,
you know,
no.
just as a gag thing, and just just do it. People would buy it.
Yeah, I think we got to get together and um we can do the local scents, the local aromas, the local odors.
Oh,
Bagaong,
wow.
bagaong,
There you go. See,
patis.
there you
No,
go.
Oh
Mel,
See,
my.
Mel, you
people.
gotta let people come up and view the item. You have to,
Yeah.
because I was just looking at it and I said, "Wow," and I thought it was liquid butter for my bread in the morning, but
You see.
it's a candle.
Oh
Okay,
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta, bro. This smells really good. We never light them yet,
Ah,
but this is nice, man. Yeah, great for Christmas gifts, by the way. Cozy
there
Wicker.
you go.
Actually,
Sell
ha-
it, Mel.
hang on. I'm gonna. I wanna. Hold on here. I'm gonna see if I can put up this.
Your store.
I will just show you because I get on Hawaiian line. I have a Hawaiian line. Hang on.
There you go.
No, brah. I'm
Uncle Charlie, you
telling you.
wearing the shirt. Uncle Charlie, you wearing
yeah.
the shirt. You can
Mhm.
selling that shirt online too. There you go. Look
I
at
guess
that.
so.
Oh,
Mel,
What's that?
the shirts. Where can you get the shirts? The shirts we wear.
I can put the link in there. I can put the link in there.
oh, see that. Look at
Yeah.
that.
Oh, so you already have stock then?
I I I do, of course. But check this out. Check this out.
Oh,
You see
look
him?
at that.
You gotta scroll
Illuminate
up
your
the
skin.
screen.
Look at that.
See that?
Look at
There
it.
you
Look at that.
go.
That's
I'm telling you, you
look
gotta get. You
the
gotta be
cozy. But
Mel.
check
You
this
gotta.
out.
You gotta do. You gotta
Wow.
do. Yeah.
Oh, get 10% off your first order.
Yes, but look at this. Look at this. Look at this one. Aho nui.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go. Can see it right now. I can
you can
see it
see.
right now. How now? Yeah, dude, you can do commercials. You can do commercials. This candle, you light them up when like people come your house. It's Hauna. Hey, people can just buy them off the shelf. You know,
I cannot.
I
Now I
can see
cannot.
it now, right now.
I don't know why I cannot go backwards. But anyway, yeah, it's here, home.
There you
Yeah,
go.
check this out. Check this. Where did it go?
It's gonna
Yeah,
sell
I
out right
love this
now.
Hawaii. Aho nui get akahai, olu olu, all the Hawaiian
Yeah,
sayings. Look at
yeah.
this. Beautiful. I can see it
Tell you,
now. Look,
Hauna.
Kuliana. You guys off. You guys all off. But yeah, cozy
Oh,
wickery
you
dot
no
store.
forget the Okina now. It's
Yeah.
Hauna.
Ooh, that's there you go.
Oh
Oh,
boy. Let's
you
we
can
gotta.
do you can do the kind, but you can do dig my pico.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
the tree
people would
flowers.
buy it. Now, people would buy it just because of the name.
Yeah,
Hi,
for
you can
real.
do commercial. Hi, I am council member Mel Raposa. This week's special, dig the pico. Remember growing up and digging your pico and smell them? Ooh, this candle will bring back so much great memories of small kid time. Sitting on the beach, digging your pico, minding your own business, and then, the scent of childhood. You know, and people just will buy them, and you can make them smell like Kuliana, but you just name them. Stinky Pinko. You know,
That's why. You see, right now.
I'm a creative genius. Whenever you're ready to take it to the next level, let me know.
You
You know what's
already
going
get
to
the
happen,
script for your
Mel?
next commercial.
Mel, people
Yeah.
will tune in just at that moment. They're going to see your candle and they're going, honey,
Yeah.
dig my pico.
Yeah, and don't forget order on Amazon.
I'm worried that I'm gonna get the love letter from YouTube and Facebook tonight and saying you are no longer allowed to put videos on your channel. I'm so worried about that. Oh my God. Oh, look at this one. Look at Mila.
Okay,
Dugong.
sell them.
Dugong.
Sell them.
Right.
Dugong.
What?
Dugong.
Oh,
That's nasty.
yeah.
That is so nasty.
That's what you gotta do. Guarantee.
Yeah, we're
Sell
gonna
them.
do them. Okay, we're gonna do them.
Yeah.
You gotta.
You, and then you make them so that the visitors can, you put like, outhouse. You say
Yeah.
put the Hawaiian. Yeah. Outhouse. Ooh.
Kukai.
Yeah.
Kukai.
There you go.
Holy.
There's so much, so much,
And
so
and
much.
and Kiani, can we put it in your shop? In your shop? Can we put it in your
My
shop, Kiani?
shop?
Yeah, your shop, Kiani.
Maybe you could put it in Shay's shop.
Oh no 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 no! She's not gonna let. Anyway, okay, guys, we could do this all night long, and we we're gonna have you guys back on again because this is fun. You know,
Yeah.
I tell you what, the coconut
Yeah. We also
wireless.
talk about building affordable. Oh
Yeah,
man.
no, I okay. Shay just said
No.
absolutely not.
Hey. I was listening. I was like, I was listening. Well, you're right. You know, it's just hard. You talk about building affordable. In our islands, it's hard already because, one, you know, the developer. I don't know about Kauai. I can just tell you that here, you know, our county property taxes, Uncle Charlie, all that's supposed to be used for infrastructure. So when a developer come in, they don't have to worry about this community benefit thing. They're supposed to come in, and pencil it so that they can build it. They can even pencil out the places that we, you know, label affordable areas. They just have a hard time penciling out because, they gotta help with infrastructure. And I think somewhere along the line on Oahu, you know, that's what property taxes are supposed to be used for, right, Mel? Taking care of infrastructure so that when a developer come in, they don't have to worry about doing, and then the cost, of goods, land, just very difficult to build anything affordable unless you can pencil out.
Well,
I think right
Kauai
now,
is no different than Oahu. I mean, it's the same. We get aging infrastructure. It's horrible.
Mm.
And what we try to do, and Charlie knows this because we've been talking about this for a while. That we try to unload them on the developer, and once you making the developer drop, $12 million of infrastructure improvements so they can build their affordable housing. It's
Hmm.
just not like you said, man. It doesn't pencil out. So
well, a lot of it is the amount of, the developer puts up upfront costs, right? And the longer it takes to get into the approval process, the money he either borrows or is using is costing him.
Correct.
And so at the end of the day, his dollar is no longer worth a dollar. So that's why he has no choice but to up the ante on the cost. And that's what makes it hard. That's what makes
Yeah.
it hard.
Keanu, welcome to Old Man Talk.
It's interesting. I'm the bridge. I'm the bridge
well,
between
Yeah.
I'm the
no,
bridge
but
between your world and the youth. Because if they
Mark
would listen, they would hang up right now.
mark my word, mark my word. Take the date and time. This girl is going to be sitting in an elected office in not long from now. I will tell you. I don't like to put her on the
Hey,
spot,
Mel
but
did that with me, Keanu. Mel told me that
uh,
long
you remember
time
that?
before
I
anything.
remember. You know what? Okay, so let me just finish, and I'll let you guys all say your final thoughts, and then we'll hang up for the night. But I met Augie T on the Big Island. He was working for our dear friend, all of ours, maybe not you, Keanu, because you're too young, but Charlie and Augie and myself, good friend, Billy Kenoy. Billy wasn't even the mayor at the time, and then Billy was the administrative or managing director, whatever they called it on a Big Island. But when Billy became the mayor, he hired Augie to help him get around the schools, spread the message to kids. Anyway, so I was at a conference in the Big Island. That's where I got to meet Augie. And it didn't take long. We realized that we were so much alike, and we shared the same vision. And I told him, bro, you got to run for council. And we had discussions after that. I can still remember as if it was yesterday. I was on the phone with Augie. You called me to ask about being on the council and what is it like. And I was standing on my back porch, telling Augie, you need to run. That's what we need. We just need people that have common sense. Politicians, you don't have to be smart. You don't have to be super intelligent, right? You got to have common sense. But the most important thing a politician needs, that's why I think Kiani would fit the mold, is you gotta be willing to listen and speak for the people, even if you're not 100% supportive of what they want. Because our job is not to push our agenda. Our job is to push the what is in the best interest of the people. And I remember like it was yesterday, again. It was a long time ago, and
Very,
and
very, I'm very
and they,
thankful for that conversation
brah,
because
it's
when one thing Mel told me is that the most amazing reward is if you can put a crosswalk,
street light,
right?
street light, street light.
Street light, crosswalk. People are not really paying attention to all the zoning things or the little things that we discuss in committee. But man, you put on street sign, signal, crosswalk. People just, man, thank you so much. And I took that advice to heart. And one of the things that I stay focused on is just what is the need for Eva Waipahu, and my district is the eighth largest district in the entire state, over 120 something thousand people. And, you know, I'm doing this thing called Win Back Waipahu. We have a homeless problem, but I also believe that, if we can touch these guys and let them know, like, hey, we here for you, and you can hear it, they don't think things will ever change. I tend not to believe that, but like, just doing things, listening, things that matter to the community. You guys seen it, the e-bike. I get emotional. I got emotional on the news when you hear about, a 15-year-old kid dying, because he made a bad decision. It's heart wrenching. But then at the same time, you come up with ideas like I like put up on pump tracks so that kids might be able to ride, e-bikes or a dirt bike in public park. That's the kind of ideas that get people excited. Oh, and that's the kind of stuff that excites me. If we can find simple solutions, making people happy, and knowing that they know that you're working hard for the community, it's just so gratifying. That's why I'm counting my days, but then I'm very, very thankful that I got to do this. The last 5 years.
Well, I think a gubernatorial team of Augie for governor, Mel Raposo for lieutenant governor would wipe this place. We'd clean
Wait,
them
wait,
all up.
wait, 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 wait. Yeah, no, dude. And you know how we raise contribution? Candles. Huh?
Ah!
We lighten up your life.
I tell you.
And we sing. We have a camping song. You light up my everybody.
Life with candles. With candles. With candles. Buy a damn candle.
That's how you get the youth to be motivated to vote because they would listen to that.
Kiani, what?
We lost him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he blow out his candle. So, Kiani, let's take over this podcast since
Oh my.
Oh,
Okay,
they're back.
It's
They're
I
back,
am here.
ladies and gentlemen.
I can push a button and just put.
Yeah, see. I need to find out how you do that.
How I do this?
Yeah,
Oh, only because
yeah.
he's the host, so he
No, I
Yeah.
might wanna.
can only vote.
I mean, you guys are step up. You guys get
Oh,
frames. You
brah,
get
we get. Let me tell
titles.
you, we get brah, we get all kinds of stuff now. I
See,
mean,
because I
I
like
can.
do one. I like do one.
It's like Disney Channel. You get all
I can't
your
look up.
dream come true.
I'm
See
gonna try.
Augie
All you
T?
guys need now is all you guys need now is the green screen.
I
Oh
get
yeah.
that, bruh.
You
I
get
get
them
that.
already?
Yeah, I'm not using them tonight, but yeah, what you see in the back of me is my actual bedroom.
I look, I'm thinking about doing one called Off the Clock. Because I gotta, one of the things that needed to happen when I ran was that I went in front of ethics, and I gotta put a disclaimer in with everything.
Yeah,
So that's that was like the balance. Augie, you can do what you keep doing. Is make sure you got a disclaimer at the bottom of the screen. But I love to talk to. Yeah, I love talking to people, and you know, yeah, finding good solutions, or just even talking story for lengthy time. Because I do morning radio. Morning radio is all timing. It's all you only get this much minutes for talk. Whereas this format, man, you can just
yeah.
talk
No,
about
no, it's good.
candles
We
for
love it. And
4 hours.
me and Charlie been doing this for so long right now that you gotta go
Yeah,
back. It's crazy. Yeah, so we have
yeah,
improved a little bit, and I still trying to learn as much as I can, but it is what it is, bro.
impressive, impressive,
Okay,
man.
okay. So now we're gonna go to
Okay,
wait. You see, yeah, there, Kian,
okay.
Kiani, right there.
Now we see them. There, I'm
Here
looking
I
at them.
am. Was I supposed to say something? Was there a cue?
I think this is your final thoughts.
Oh, okay. I thank you so much for having me tonight. It's amazing. This is my first time actually that I have seen your podcast, and I love everything about it. I love that it's raw. I love that you just talk not as a political person, but as just a citizen of Kauai. And I think that's so amazing. Also, if there's any parents watching that are interested, who have kids that are interested in pageantry, I will be starting to host my own workshops on each island throughout my reign. I am starting off in Oahu, also, Augie, if you know of any people who are interested in pageantry, I have my workshops in Oahu on November 8th. It will be from 9 to 4 p.m. I will have signups coming out soon on the Miss Hawaii Filipina Instagram at the Miss Hawaii Filipina. And yeah, it'll be really exciting. I have Tia Bustamante, I have Marisol Heather, and then I also have Miss Hawaii herself in the Miss America organization, Emilia Deliri. So it'll be very, very exciting. It'll be a lot of insight, a lot of sisterhood things. Yeah, it'll be a great kickoff, I think.
Awesome. Make sure you connect with Augie. I really want to get you and Mahia together because I think Mahia can help you a lot in establishing your nonprofit.
Yes.
I mean, I have seen that girl grow and what she has become and what she has, the amount of kids and families she has impacted is just, and I'm not just saying that because Augie's here. That girl impresses me like you do, Kiani. When I heard you speak at the county council, I was like, is this the same girl I saw selling um, food down at the Willy Willy,
Yeah,
that
garlic
during the
shrimp.
fundraiser, the garlic
Hawaiian
shrimp.
garlic shrimp.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm impressed, and I just wish you all the best. And when you're ready to
Thank you.
promote, let me know. Augie's got an awesome following too. So yeah, we want to help you out. We really do want to help you out.
Yes, and I think that's so inspiring from Mahia for her to start at 11. That's crazy because that's when when I was in middle school, that's when most of my classmates and the keiki in middle school started to really feel. And yeah, I don't know, maybe it might have been hormones, but that's when a lot of the kids were impacted by mental health, cigarette use, bullying, a lot of that. So I think it's so amazing that at that age she was able to step to the plate and step up to the issue.
Very difficult. It was difficult, but again, as a parent, we only can be persistent in helping. At the end of the day, she's gonna make the decision on whether or not she wants to do something that's meaningful. And I'm glad that's the route that she took. And as a parent, we just have to be supportive and do whatever we can to help in the process, right?
Yes.
Roger. Okay, fasten your seatbelts because now we're gonna get words of wisdom from Uncle
Oh,
Charlie.
hey, if I don't
Oh,
get a chance to come back, I'm doing Hallelujah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, in
yes.
December. So it's the start of my Shaka Power tour, November. So I haven't shot a special for almost 7 years, and I'm looking forward. So I'm doing Hallelujah, 2 shows in December, and I know it's a small venue, and that's how I wanted them. Years of doing big venues is awesome, but I like the fact that it's small and there's a connection, and lots of new material. I talk about maybe the 30 something years of doing comedy. Maybe I've caught up, little butchy. Talk about getting older and how life is going by super fast, and I talk about um, challenges in my in my sexuality.
All right.
See how
We will.
quiet you see how quiet everybody got. See how quiet
No,
everybody
no,
got. That's
I,
right. It's
bruh.
it's the most
We do not
I'm telling
judge.
you.
We do not judge on this show.
Now, when you see it, Uncle Charlie, when you see it, you will like. It's so funny because it happened within like 4 or 5 months. Yeah, beautiful stuff.
Well,
And
we'll have you on
and
before then,
the
Augie.
chief of war, hey, the chief of war is part of the bit. You
Well,
guys know
that
the
that
chief of war,
that
right?
that might offend Charlie, so be careful because I've seen Charlie. I've seen
Yeah,
Charlie take a comedian,
yeah.
and I cannot say what he did to him because it might affect your sexuality. But anyway, uh, hey, before we bring on Charlie, real quick, I just want to again, I'm sorry because I know Kiani, we don't. This is not a political channel, so we don't do that. But right now is a special time because I am running for mayor, so I do want to plug the fundraiser coming up on November 22nd. That is the link to go get tickets or make a donation. linktr.ee/Melfor Get 2 buttons on that page. You want it for a donation, one is to buy tickets. Charlie guys is gonna be playing music. Um, and it's gonna be 2 hours, chili and rice, with with best foods mayonnaise. It's gonna be a fun afternoon, and we need you guys there. So that's all I'm gonna say. And with that, Uncle Charlie, this is like
Well,
this is like you
I
do your
like
Bible
this. Yeah.
study, Augie. You do your Bible study in the morning. I
Mhm.
do mine every Thursday night with Uncle Charlie.
Okay.
How come, Uncle Charlie?
Well,
What's up with you? Why is your thing? Anyway? Go ahead. I don't know why it's looking like that.
well, I'd like to say thank you to our guests tonight, for our viewers out there. We started off the show with some. It wasn't meant to be hardcore political views, but there are a lot of questions to be asked, and we have a candidate with Mel, but tonight it was more of a lighter note. But we are facing some troubled times. Homelessness is growing wild, and we have to address that properly. We cannot keep on kicking the can down the road. We have our youth to worry about, and I am so glad that the message started off with the anti-bullying campaign, and I hope everybody buys into it because we always make the statement that our kiki are our future. So if we teach them well at the start, then we should have a really good future ahead of us. But it has to start from somewhere. Last but not least, it's always a privilege to come on and see all the different comments. And I hope the viewers tonight, the village, I hope you folks can take some things that were said tonight, take it with you, and digest it. And if you have any feelings one way or the other, please let us know, because we're always here for you. And to my friends, family, and people that I don't even know that had sent some messages via Facebook today that saw the post. No, I'm okay. I was just saying that you get a point in your life that you have a lot of your friends um, that are going to heaven, and I just made the comment. I wonder why. When will my time come? But I hope and pray that I leave a lasting memory for all of you. So that's my word for tonight, and I hope and pray I've got many more years on this earth, and I'll give it everything I got. Okay, brother Mel, back to you.
oops, wrong one. All right, y'all. Hey, thanks again for tuning in, and we had an extended show tonight. Appreciate you guys, Kiani, Augie, Charlie. We'll be on next week again, and it'll probably be just me and Charlie.
Hey, let me know. Let me know. I'd love to jump on. You know, I know Tree's a crowd, but let me know.
I like
7:30.
see if I can fit 10 people on this thing.
Oh, if you can do that, that's
Oh
it.
my.
Over.
Yeah. Then
That's what I like.
we can bring Miss Portuguese. I mean Miss Kauai Portuguese.
That'd be
Portuguese.
amazing.
Miss. Yeah, we bring them all on. But
Yes.
yeah. All right.
Amazing.
Hey, aloha, you guys. Take care. God bless. We love you guys. Hey, New Hope, October 12th. Augie gonna be doing his sermon over there. If you guys haven't seen it, you got to check it out. All right, guys. We see you next time. Aloha, ahui ho.